So you've come here for the truth. Well, we've got the truth and nothing but the truth. Here are your hosts, Robert A. Bianchi and David J. Bruno.
Welcome to Nothing But the Truth podcast with your hosts, Bob Bianchi and Dave Bruno, two lawyers from New Jersey. Of all things, Dave, we're talking mindset, we're talking success, we're talking about maximizing performance, living a joyful, fulfilled life. We're talking wellness, spirituality. We do it all here. And every now and again, we sprinkle with a little law. We got a great guest today, and actually a special kind of pivotal person in our own life.
Yes, absolutely. Kristen David, CEO of Upleveling Your Business. She's a lawyer, an international speaker, a best-selling author known for helping small business owners build profitable, self-managed businesses by implementing effective systems and procedures through their company. She's transitioned from a career in law, where she built and sold her law firm, to becoming a business coach. Kristen, thank you so much for coming on Nothing But the Truth. Bob, she does such a great job on social media, LinkedIn, putting out, and I'll tell you what, you're giving out the gold too. So many helpful things for entrepreneurs and law firm owners, Kristen. It is a pleasure for you to be on Nothing But the Truth.
Thank you. I know how much it sucks to be an attorney that worked way too many hours and a business owner taking home way too little money, and how much better it is on the other side. That's why I'm always filled with gratitude to help others get to that other side.
Wow. Isn't that the truth? It fits right into law life, sirens and summations, all the things that we're doing in our newsletters, on our stages and CLEs, Kristen. It is such a critical time for attorneys with overwhelm, stress, and all the things that come from lawyering, that this is such an important conversation to bring awareness up so that people can go about their lives in a joyful way while also helping people.
Well, I want to start with how I know you is during the COVID period, when it is the bleakest time, if you want to look at it that way. But I have a little psychology, and maybe it's mentally ill or whatever you want to call it. I look at those times as the times for opportunity. And Dave and myself said to ourselves, when we were in disbelief. The courts closed down. The courts closed. September 11th happened, and as Manhattan burned, I was across the river at a courthouse that they refused to close down. Cases keep on coming. The judges keep on going. When they said it may close down, it will never happen. And then it did. And there was silence. And there was no phones ringing. And Dave and myself met you and some like-minded colleagues. And we were, first of all, super impressed with the idea that you have a firm, you decide to move on, to do something. And I love how you put that passion to make people's lives better, because a lot of lawyers overwhelm is because they don't need to be overwhelmed. And that's what you taught us, and our little group started teaching us about how to do things where you could do the great work of being a lawyer, but you don't have to be overwhelmed in doing it. Last point, and then I'd like you to give me any thoughts about any of this. One of the biggest things that you guys taught us was that there's no honor if people don't see what it is that you do. How important that marketing, advertising, but also systems and operations and being able to produce a result allows you to have more freedom of time. And when we started thinking that way, it changed our whole mindset, because I personally think we are mismanaged when we're being told it's a profession, not a business. No, it's both. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. And I was one of those attorneys in the trenches working 85 hours a week, in at 6 a.m., still there at 11 midnight, 1 in the morning, trying to do it all. And it sucked. And too often we were told that was maybe what we were supposed to do, but you've got to break that mindset. You've got to recognize you don't have to do all the work, and you've got to find a better way. You got to get some systems in place, hire some people, and delegate. And it's amazing how much different life is on the other side of that coin.
So I just want to say there was one thing that I think that a lot of people, I felt, they agreed with your message. Anybody can have a message. But in the implementation of it, the fear, the pain point that I heard when you guys weren't listening and we were in our own little breakout rooms or whatever, was they say hire. This is COVID. The cases aren't coming in. How can we hire? We don't have the money to do it. It's a very practical and real reality. In fact, we faced it as well, but we found our way and did it, and it made a world of difference. How do you deal with that objection?
We tackle it all the time. My rule of thumb for paralegals and associates or legal assistants is it is your job, CEO, to orchestrate week 1, they got to do 8 productive hours, week 2, 12 hours, week 3, 20 hours. They've now made you a 3-time ROI. And they've paid for themselves. So when we hire, it's not just we're out a paycheck. It's our job to make sure this person is going to like pay for themselves. They're doing the work that's going to, you're just investing 2 weeks of salary until they're like paying for themselves, right? Like and it's going to come back to you in that 4th and 5th ROI. So on the legal team, it's a little bit easier often of how we're going to make sure that they're going to make themselves profitable to the firm. It's that executive assistant. And I got to tell you, an EA is absolutely a game changer if you want to take your firm to the next level, because it's the person that can follow up on all those little details, take care of triaging your emails, managing your calendar, organizing, making sure your team gets things done. Like, they seem like that's just an extra added expense to have an EA, but this person is going to make you at least 7 to 10 times more productive, because you're going to get on and they're going to go, here's your top 3 things. And you're going to zip through them. Right. And so, yes, you pay $2,000, $2,200 a month for an executive assistant, offshore, full-time. They're a rock star. They're going to make you another $20,000. Like but we got it. That's that mindset. We've got to see it as this is an opportunity cost. Me filtering my own emails for 45 minutes, that didn't make me any money. Like that's shit, right? I just needed to know the top 3 emails I needed to respond to. That took me 5 minutes to respond to those 3. Done. I just made us $20,000. Like, again, it's a mindset of hiring is not just an expense. It's seeing how it's going to change your utilization of time and bring more money into the company.
Yeah, and this is a universal conversation, guys. This is not just for law firms. In fact, Kristen has scaled well past just law firms. And if you see her graphic right now, because we're doing this on video, that's available for video, it's up-leveling your business. It's not up-leveling just your law firm. So these are really universal things that we're talking about here that really apply to everyone in every business.
Well, and to that point, David, I mean, so as an attorney, I did medical malpractice defense, legal malpractice defense. I actually had to defend the criminal defense attorneys when they got sued. And so I'd have to go try the underlying cases and then try the legal malpractice case. Very fun. A lot of courtroom time. I'm a litigator at heart. But one of the things that we recognize so much is that professional schools don't teach CPAs, doctors, dentists, lawyers. They don't teach you how to run a business like a business.
Yes, amen.
They don't teach you any of that. And just a little bit of knowledge goes a long ways, right?
Well, listen, you were so, amen. We got to get this message out to lots of people, because I have a little bit more years behind me, and I'm watching the decades of experience. And you know what I saw on a Zoom, and Dave is the chairperson of the membership committee of the New Jersey State Bar Association, and he does a great job at that, and he's running the meeting. And one day I just happened to make an observation, and when we were doing how to manage, and we were all in those little blocks on Zoom, and my people, and maybe everyone looks burned out. Everyone looks like they're great people. They're tired. Their eyes are sunken. And it's because, like, I know friends of mine who are running their own practices to this day, and they're eating what they kill. They're in 5 different courts a day. And when they try to ask us, like, how did you guys do it? It's almost impossible for us to explain because so much energy went into it. But I think you are an oasis. You are a person that if you really care to turn this around and to purchase back the most precious thing you have, your time, you can help them with these things. How do you go about doing it?
from having been in that courtroom and having been in that office and tied to my desk for dozen hours every single day and realizing there's got to be a better way. Like I had to learn it too. Like there's got to be a better way. And once I learned it, it was like, well, this isn't that hard. Like, why didn't somebody teach me this 10 years ago? And listen, here's the thing. Sometimes people have to hit a low. They have to hit that moment of like, I refuse to keep doing it this way. Like I cannot do it this way anymore. And that's when they make that transition. One of the things I did, I was just talking to a client. I made her fire herself off of 90% of her cases. She came to us just 3 months ago. I was doing her 3-month check-in earlier today. And she is down. She's only got 5 files assigned to her. Everything else is being handled by other people on her team now. And she's like, life is completely different. Like she can breathe, she can enjoy, she can be the CEO again.
She brought her time back. Now, let's talk about you. Before we went on, you were talking to us about what it is that you do. And so let me let the audience understand something. I laugh at this. I say, everyone's a coach today. Okay. If you got a little bit of knowledge on something and you become a coach and you're an expert and you're this, that, and the other. And you are, if you will, kind of a quote unquote coach, but you have a background and you come from a skill set and you then started your own business, but your business, we talked about this before, is a little different because you realize you parse things out a little bit more, split them up and customize, it seems to me, more than. So tell our audience, there may be a lawyer listening saying, I'm really excited. But who should I go to? There's this company, that company, and the other. Why Kristen?
So we believe that every business owner has strengths and weaknesses, and we all need help in different ways at different times. It's that simple. Sometimes you need marketing. You just need more clients in the door. Or sometimes your conversion rate is in the tank and we just need to, you got good leads, but you're not even handling most of them. You're not following up. There's no systematic approach to make sure we capture those. Other people, they don't know their numbers. A lot of lawyers, doctors, dentists, they don't know their numbers. They need to go work with our financial controls coach for 2 months, learn their numbers, learn employee ROI numbers, learn their gross profit margins. And then they could say, quit doing those cases where I'm losing money. Let's go attract more of those good cases. Cool. Now they pop over and work with the marketing coach for 2 months. But the big thing that we do is we don't just want to train a human in those 2 months. We don't just train. We do work one-on-one, but we're also going to build out the systems so that at the end of the 2 months, your financial systems manual is built. So somebody else can come in and understand how we run our billings, our numbers, our reports, so that it's, again, if somebody on your team slides into a different position on the team, we can slide a new person in and they're up to speed in 6 to 8 hours. They're like, cool, this makes sense. They got everything they need, all the tools. So we always want to train up the owner, but we also want to build the system so that we can slide humans in underneath and work it up. So that's what makes us different. We start with, okay, what's your biggest pain point and problem? Cool, let's dig in there. It's not cookie cutter. It's not, everybody does the same damn thing. It's what do you need and what's going to get us the best ROI to get you some relief right now. So, and listen, another part of the business, I know from experience, some people just want to go buy those systems packages online. The number one most commonly purchased item from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning is our financial systems manual. People are worried about their money at 2, 3 in the morning, and they go and buy that systems manual. And some people are really good at going through it, implementing on their own. And a whole lot of society is not good at implementing on their own. They need a coach to kind of kick their ass, work with their staff, get it implemented. So we have both. We want to support our business owners in the way they need help. That's our whole premise.
I mean, I love this conversation because sometimes it's overwhelming just thinking you got to attack it all at once. That's probably the most overwhelming thing you could do, like the to-do list, the projects, all looking at, but you break it up. you break it up into pieces. And for anybody that doesn't know Upleveling, they have these menus where there's various different things in piecemeal that you could attack. And then finally,
it makes us all feel better about like, cool, let's do a 2-week or 3-week sprint. Let's get that done and implemented. And then like we personally feel better because we got something accomplished. There's nothing worse than never getting it done.
This is what I loved about you guys when I first met you, is that if you recall, maybe it was a small thing to you guys, maybe not, I don't know. But to us, it was a big, like, why are we doing this? But it makes all the sense in the world now. What's your mission statement? What's your purpose? What's your personal financial situation? Where do you want it? You asked all of these kinds of questions. And in the end, when I'm listening to you talk about how people from 2 to 5 a.m. are awake at night, I would say, in all likelihood, I'm not a betting man, but I'd say nervous, afraid, scared, can't sleep because of their financial situation, and they're reaching out to you. You're providing that opportunity to be able to have a business. Like, I think that we can say we can always do better with our numbers, but metrics on the cases, ROI, this is all improving the client satisfaction, staff satisfaction, and moreover, giving you your time back. You're literally creating joy. I know it's in the form of a law practice.
Yeah. Well, maybe in another episode, we'll share talking about reverse engineering from, I want to go on this vacation for a month or 2 months. How do I reverse engineer to build that kind of a firm?
The vacations.
Laying in the beach.
Yeah, but this is the point too. This is another observation of Kristen, is that she's remote. She gets to go where she wants. Where are these locations that you're creating content from and also working on the businesses and your clients? Where have you been?
So I have an apartment in Seattle, Washington, right above Pike Place Market. Actually, I have 2 apartments, the residential one and then one for the UIB team, so that when they come to visit, but also has my filming studio. Beautiful, looks out over the Olympic Mountains. So I'm up-leveled in what I'm thinking about as I'm recording. So I spend about a third of the year in Seattle, Washington, Pacific Northwest. Gorgeous in July, August, beautiful. A third of the year in Paris, France. I have an apartment there. I also have my filming studio, green screen, amazing Wi-Fi, 2-bedroom apartment right in the heart of the city. So it's a block and a half from the Seine. I go for morning walks, runs. I love Paris. I love France. And then so I spend about a third of the year there, especially beautiful. April, May, June, September, October is gorgeous in Paris. And then I spend the other third of my time traveling the world. And I take my 2 laptops, my primary and backup, my 2 cell phones. And I just got back from a couple weeks in South Africa. In October, I did Scotland and Norway. So, I use the Paris apartment as kind of a hub to bounce off and, because it's 9 hours difference from the West Coast of the US. But listen, my business is such that my team, we have core hours. So no matter where I am in the world, I still show up for my core meetings, right? We still have it work. My team is all over the world. We're completely virtual, everybody. I have everyone from, in the Philippines and Europe to South Africa, Latin America, Mexico, US, Canada. So our team is international as well. And we love to see our team go travel and, thriving themselves. Like, we practice what we preach.
I see it. I have seen it, and I'm so grateful to have the relationship that we've had, throughout the years. You're checking in on us and you're always saying hi, and it's meaningful, Kristen, and we appreciate that.
A little kick in the butt.
I know. They're just checking in, and we're just doing the work. We're doing the work over here. Luckily, we have grown.
Work, and you guys are having fun doing it. That's what matters in life. Like, find what you want to do and do more of it.
I mean, most lawyers start this journey because they want to help people and they're passionate about justice. And there's no reason why you can't be that person and have a successful, joyful life where you have time. Something like my father's generation, they had time. They had families. They did extracurricular activities. They ran great law practices. And from his generation to now, something's happened, and you're bringing that balance back.
Without a doubt.
Well, and I think we're also a little bit tired of sitting in conference rooms learning. We're realizing that it's more enjoyable to get out in the world, to experience life, to do things. I mean, a part of our business is we do these experiences around the world. We do a 5-day Paris experience all about scaling your business. We did earlier, April of 2025, we did 10 days in New Zealand, took a dozen business owners over there. We had a great time. We're doing Banff experience coming up this next year in Canada. People love to go be in small groups with other successful business owners and learn and hear, because listen, entrepreneurship, it's a lot of ups and downs. Like none of us are a perfect straight arrow up. Like, and it's so great to learn from one another. It's so great to hear ahead of time what others have gone through. And then we know, oh, when that comes, when I get sued by my staff member, now I know what to do.
Yeah. And you're talking about community, which is it's one of our priorities right now. Is like we're helping people through the law practice impact service community. We're also building community as well. That's critical to the mission of the Bianchi Law Group. And we're in a gold rush right now. I mean, with all of the different software, tech, apps, learning from each other is critical. And I want to get into the 4 pillars of the successful business management. We cannot have her on this show without covering those 4. I'm not letting you off the hook here. Let's give it to them.
Let's hit them real quick. Number 1 is planning. A little planning goes a long ways. Just a little bit of time and energy to say, what the hell do you want to build? And how are you going to get there? Like that can be some of the 10, 15 minutes can be some of the best time you spend as a CEO. So planning. Number 2, marketing and sales. You got to bring in clients and you got to bring in the right clients because I did legal malpractice defense. Trust me, like attorneys get upside down, doctors, everybody, when you're dealing with clients, you don't want to be doing their case. You don't want to be working with, like only work with your people, right? Number 3, as you get marketing and sales brings in more clients. Now we need people to do the work. So that's pillar number 3 is management. We need good people, good systems so they know what to do, good checklists to make sure and ensure people get things done. So that the day-to-day operations is that 3rd pillar. And number 4 are those financial numbers. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to be a good money manager because that's what allows you to be profitable and take home some money, but profit gives you the options to do more trainings with your team, do fun things, reinvest, grow. Like with no profit, you don't have very many options and it sucks. So, and then you just come back around the circle, back to a little bit more planning, a little more market. So I like to keep it simple and it works. It's a framework that works for any kind of business out there.
Yeah, that simplicity though isn't so simple. And you just said, and I love that you said go around because I think, and we get much better because our planning is always on numbers, and we talk and laugh now. Yeah. We laugh, we can giggle at ourselves when we say, I don't know, I feel like, what do the numbers say? Oh, and what do the numbers say? And you know what? The numbers oftentimes are not anywhere near the feeling. And when you said before, like how many law firms or any business for that matter, but law firms in particular, we know, what is their ROI on, let's say I'm in criminal, on or the margins on this case, that case, or the other case. What case gets done quickly? What case doesn't get done quickly? What case becomes more what kind of client is more difficult? Like all of these things, if you have your numbers, drive your next phase of planning. It sounds simple, but like Dave does a dashboard. I mean, it is really sophisticated.
Sent them the dashboard last night.
Yeah, but it's like you look at it sometimes and you're, wow, I never would have believed it.
Absolutely.
It's eye-opening. It's also, those numbers tie back into data-driven leadership, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than come full frontal at someone like, hey, I feel like you're not doing a good job. Instead, you come at them and say, hey, I see that you only billed 72 hours this month and you're supposed to be at 120. Help me understand what's going on. So it becomes more objective. We use data to start the conversation. So it's very objective. No one can argue with the data. Yeah. And now we ask them for their narrative. What's going on here? Help me understand. And now you can have a conversation, and this is how you up-level your team. This is how you get them to take their responsibility, take ownership, rather than us micromanaging them. We want them to manage themselves. That's what this is about.
Wow.
4 pillars.
Bobby, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's such an important conversation right now in this moment in time, because there's another way to go about business, and that is handling all these responsibilities and then the distractions from all over the social media, the news, the streaming websites, all of the other problems, and then lawyers have to handle problems of other people as well. So it's so important to really plan and come from this from an intention, purpose, awareness.
So you have a whole day, and hopefully you get as much time and freedom of time. Time is what it is. At the end of your life, this is my EMT coming out. At the end of your life, okay, you have no more time. There's no going back. There's no do-overs. Create your time now as best you can. Dave and myself, that's big with us. We wanted the time, and we're creating that time by having a successful business. But part of that is, what are you going to do during your day?
Yeah.
And we plan. We have rocks and goals and micro rocks. And so I know that I could be doing, when I look at my journaling each day, I know that Bob 5 years ago would have become distracted with this, that, and the other. Bob today says, hey, first off, does it go to my rock? Does it go to my sub rock or even sub rock? If the answer to that is no, I'm not doing it.
But this is also part of teaching our team. This is where we sell a legal systems manual. And part 1 is teaching the team how to really recognize their job and their duties daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and how to be proactive instead of reactive. So their daily tasks, they want to aim to get those done by 11 a.m. So they have the afternoon to start working on the weekly tasks. Weekly tasks, they want to get done by Wednesday so they can start working on their bi-weekly or monthly tasks on Thursday, Friday, right? We want to train the team how to have some structure and organization, just like you do, Bob, with your rocks and, you're on a CEO strategy, like higher level, but every person on the team can learn to self-manage themselves and get organized and be proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times your reactive comments really, I'm curious, again, we can go on forever. Maybe we'll have you come back to it if you don't mind. But I think that's the issue with lawyers. There's so much reactivity because sometimes you have to be. And usually the louder the problem is, no matter how minor it is, gets 95% of your attention. And really, it should only be getting 5% of your attention. But because it roars, you move and gravitate to that distraction.
Can I give you a little biz nugget on how to solve that?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of litigation and we had a lot of fires, last minute stuff that would pop up. So we went ahead and put on the calendar for everybody in the firm from 11 to 11:45 a.m. fires. Because inevitably some darn fire is going to pop up in the morning. And so while everybody's got their heads down, the support staff could be listening. And at 11 o'clock, it's like powwow. Cool. This fire came up. Let's deal with it. This fire came up. Let's deal with it. Because rather than getting hijacked, let's just plan. We know we're going to get hijacked with fires. Let's just plan for it. And you know what? It took us from being like squirrel, the court's on, to saying, great, we're going to deal with that at 11 o'clock.
What do you do if there's not a fire?
What?
What do you do if there's not a fire during the allotted time?
Holy heck, you get some time to organize, smile, be a human.
Yeah. So you've already factored in the horror and it can only get better from there.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to add to this because I just released my Law Life article a couple hours ago, right? And the topic is on habits, routines, and rituals. And the reason in the article I talk about establishing the morning routine and the evening routine is because we know that the fires are going to happen during the day. And it's the preparation. It's really the intention. It's getting a consistent sort of routine so that you have a bedrock to go to in the mornings and the evenings, because as lawyers, they're coming. They are coming. It could be professionally, it could be personally. You know, Bob, you talked about, when's the end? We don't know when the end's going to be either medically. So again, all the reason to be proactive, protect ourselves, focus on health, wealth, all the things.
I haven't told Dave this, but there was a situation, a call I was on as an EMT, and I heard a doctor, when the call is called and when everyone is done frenetically working on a patient, the doctor will call out 1717. That's the time of death. And that's it. Everything stopped. Everybody puts their hands down. The machines get cut off. And then there's just silence. And I'm going to write about this particular call. But that was a very young person. And I was thinking to myself, when I say middle-age-ish, on the border of middle age, had no idea that was their day. And that I'm using different times because I'm trying not to identify. At 14:14, I remember because the numbers were the same. At 14:14 on that day, that was the expiration date. We always wonder, Dave, you asked me one time, why do I have 11/126? Like, I'm making believe a fake expiration date. I've got this much time, and then that's the time that I've got to do those things. On that particular day, that guy didn't know that at 14:14, for example, some doctor was going to say those numbers, and on a piece of paper, there's a day you were born, and it's got a date and a time on it, and there's a day that now says that date, 14:14, and that was the end. And so it is precious, and you never know when it's going to end. Yeah. And so I just hope if I have that opportunity that I could say, I did as best as I could.
So let me just wrap this back around, because I think it comes back to us having a responsibility to run successful businesses, and the fact that we don't know when our time is up, and we don't know when we might just need to tap out and either deal with our own medical situation, a loved one's situation. We want to have a strong, stable business run on systems so somebody else can slide right in, manage and run things. And if, heaven forbid, we pass, our estate plan is ready. Those systems, when I sold my law firm, those policies and procedures, the things that made the whole business turnkey, was $100,000 negotiating point just for that one-inch asset of paperwork. But it's what made the whole thing run as a business. And it's also what, we encourage a lot of attorneys and business owners to put that into their trust, so that somebody else has to pay the kids or the family for that intellectual property that's been developed, those systems. But have a game plan so that when we do have to tap out and step away from our business, which we love, but sometimes we have to step away. How is it going to run without us? What's the game plan? What's the system? And if our time has come to completion, will our family get some money out of it? Is there an exit strategy there? So again, those systems help you right now. They help the business owner get clarity and get out of the trenches. And it gives you that long-term asset that is actually the gift that keeps on giving to your loved ones.
I think it's a perfect place to end.
It is. Kristen, just let everybody know where they could find you.
Jump on over to uplevelingyourbusiness.com, or listen, I'm an open book. Shoot me an email, Kristen@uplevelingyourbusiness.com. I am always happy to help professionals get on the other side of the misery and overwhelm. I've been there myself, and life is too short to keep living in that misery. Get those systems built. Get on the other side of it.
This is great. Thank you. And thank you,
gentlemen, for having me.
And we are filming on Thanksgiving week. And thank you for coming on in this week, and wishing all of our listeners a very happy Thanksgiving. We are blessed to have such a great community out there listening. For all of our videos, all of our podcasts, nothingbutthetruthpodcast.com is the website with all of that and more. Bob, you
Bye,
want to close
Kristen.
us out?
That's it. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
We're the Bianchi Law Group, a team of former prosecutors and certified criminal trial attorneys.
But here's the thing. He put himself in a box when he said,
Relied on by CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, Law and Crime, and news leaders across the country for our criminal defense
To get a
expertise.
search warrant, you have to have probable cause that a crime's been committed and there's evidence in a particular place.
When you need a law firm with courage, compassion, and the commitment to fight for you, call the Bianchi Law Group today.